Hi YouTube, I'm Aaron Losey from Lone Star Drift and Drift Week, and we're here on Drift Week, and this is Benjamin Hobson.
Hello, YouTube.
What I'm gonna ask him today, and he's gonna talk to you about, is he was one of my drivers in Pro-Am in Lone Star Drift, and he is one of the few people that move on and keep going up and up and up until they're professional drivers, and he's on that quest right now. And once every 6 months or so, I do an interview with him and ask him how it's going. So far with Lone Star Drift, he did a season or so. Bring it on in.
You just had to have camera time, huh?
Always.
Mark got to have the camera
I always
time.
have to have my tea.
Gotta have the tea.
So far with us, he did multiple seasons of Lone Star Drift, went to Japan with us. He did a SEMA Burnyard thing with us. He did, that was it.
Drift Week 2.
Yeah, Hoonigan SEMA stuff. He did Drift Week 2, Drift Week
This one.
5.
Yep.
I'm always trying to give you opportunities for like crazy adventures, not so much like, I have a very different perspective on drifting than you're going down. You're going
100%.
down the quintessential like Pro-Am to Pro 1 path and trying to make it all work. So why don't you tell me the story of how it's going over the past year? What your best experiences were, what your worst experiences were with drifting. If you're kind of losing the life from your eyes as you go. You can see a lot of drifters do that.
Oh, 100%. It's a passion sport. So once you lose the passion, it's all over from there. But no, the last year has been great, man. I feel like I've improved every single time I've gone to the track and left. I felt like a better driver when I left. So in my opinion, I'm just continuing to practice. I have the G35. It's a bone stock DE car that I shred with everywhere. I take it all kinds of tracks, and it's, to me, if I can't drive the pro car all the time because one, you know, it is expensive to run it, but that's not the reason I don't run it all the time. Most of the time, it's we're replacing or making better. So in between events, it's getting, you know, prepared for the next. So I'm still trying to get seat time without destroying it because I like to drive hard. So I have finally got the Corvette back.
You do say.
I do say, yeah.
Keep going.
Old Poppy here. Got the Corvette back, so I've been driving the crap out of the G and getting just tons of seat time, practicing driving with the throttle and not with my hands, just doing my everyday, just having fun, just going back to grassroots and having fun. And that's the reason I skipped doing clutch kickers this season, so I could go to Drift Week and go into FD, just focused on having fun, having a good time and driving. And that's what I do. That's what I, every single time I'm here. I mean, you go to my Instagram and watch the in-car footage from SEMA. She recorded it, my girlfriend did, and I'm smiling the whole time. I don't even notice I am. I transition, I'm just cheesing. I have the best time driving, man. It's the funnest thing to me. It's the worst experience that I've had in the past year, I would say, is making mistakes that I shouldn't have made in competition, trying to push myself past my limits when I know that I was at a steady pace. I should have stayed there, and I try to go harder. That's my biggest mistakes, is trying to push harder than I should and not just step back and be like, all right, we're here to drive, and just drive smoothly and calmly. And normally whenever you do that, you do come out on top. So I've been focusing on my mental game in driving and just having fun. So I'd say the last year I've had the best experience of driving in my life.
And you did 4 rounds of Pro 2 Formula D?
Yep.
And are you doing Pro 1 this year?
Pro spec again.
Pro spec again?
Yeah.
And all these race cars going by us in the back.
Yeah, it's loud.
Drift Week 5 would like to thank these amazing sponsors, including BC Racing Custom Coilovers that have been with us from the beginning, the most supportive coilover company in the United States, ECU Master USA, who is also on this trip and has been supporting these trips from the beginning, NK Wheels, who we absolutely love, and always I run RPF1, so thank you guys. Drift HQ, that brings the support van. We could not do this without you guys. Vapetasia, who is not only on this trip driving with us, but also supporting the trip. A new sponsor, Heatwave Visuals. They support us with awesome eye protection and make rad stuff, including the beanie I'm wearing in these videos. And WhatMonstersDo.com, who makes great content. They support Lone Star Drift. They support our Japan content. You can go and use the Ebisu discount code on their website for a percentage off. Let's get back to the content.
So in Pro Spec this year, how'd you do? How did it go? You did 4 rounds. How much effort was it to do 4 rounds? Was it just like, just take the car and it's no big deal? Or was it, thrash on the car for 3 weeks before every round?
No, the car did great. The only thing that round 1, I didn't have, we lost brake pedal. Master cylinder was the wrong size. We did wrong calculations with the math. So round 1, I didn't have a brake pedal. The car did great. I qualified 10th, finished 10th. That was the first time I drove the new car, so I would say it did absolutely phenomenal. Round 2, the slave cylinder on my clutch, the throwout bearing, it wasn't shimmed properly, so I kept sucking in air, so I lost a little clutch pedal. But other than that, I didn't have there was no thrashing on the car between the rounds. St. Louis, we did, a rocker arm fell off in St. Louis on the car. Bolt on cylinder 2 on the exhaust side backed out because I think we honestly we had too small of the exhaust on the car. It had too much back pressure. We blew out O2 sensors off the header twice, so I had to re-weld those back in. But
as you're describing this, it sounds like you're describing mechanical failures between events. How'd the events themselves go? What were you replacing? How'd you feel at the events? Were you nervous? Were you
round
throwing
1? I was nervous. Yes,
really?
Yes. Round 1, I was very nervous because it was a long time coming to that. And then, I'm used to driving with you guys, but I'm not used to driving in front of huge crowds. And I knew I was on live stream. I knew there's a big crowd there. I knew all of this, but I talked to one of my good buddies, Alec Honodale, and I was like, "Yo, how do you get past it?" He said, "Just don't look at it. Just pay attention to yourself. Don't look at the crowd whenever you pull up. Don't think about it. And just go drive." And it was that was a game changer for me. So once I just zeroed the crowd out, it was just showing up to drift events and having fun, man. Okay. I did have, I would say I had a few mechanical failures, not catastrophic though. Nothing that we couldn't put a little hot glue on with a welder on and glue it back together. But the car did great. We did great. We finished 10th place for the season, and I feel like our rookie year out, that was great. My goal was to finish top 10. I would have loved to finish, 9th, 8th. Why
not first?
I would have loved to finish first.
Why not aim higher?
Oh, 100%. I would have loved to, but I knew that if I could finish top 10 my first season out, and we built the car in 8 days before round 1, I knew that I have potential in the sport. So
So you're gonna win this year and then move on to Pro 1?
Hell yeah. That's the goal is to go in. I got my feet wet last season, got the butterflies going this season. We're gonna go hard.
How was the driving? Were the drivers much better than you, or were you taken out by just what was the reason you didn't do better?
To be honest with you, I was taken out by my own stupid mistakes on some of them, and I had some. I lost. Last round, I did have a mechanical failure. I'm sorry. The rocker arm and stuff came off, and I lost cylinders. So Irwindale, I was driving with 6 cylinders on the car. We made it all the way to top 8 on 6 cylinders. We qualified on 6 cylinders. So the only thing that really took me out was my own personal mistakes of, like I said, trying to push too hard past stuff. And the last round, I had to drive the car super duper duper hard because I was on 6 cylinders. I was down 2 cylinders.
Okay.
I don't know how much power I was down. A lot. I only make 700, and I was down 2. So.
Is each year of your drifting so far escalating in cost? Is every season getting more and more expensive?
No,
or
I wouldn't say that. We've learned how to.
You're like, my first season was real expensive.
Yeah, first season was real expensive. We've learned how to budget, and I've actually got more monetary support this season through sponsors, and part sponsors are awesome. Not, I still have to pay for parts. I don't get nothing free yet. I've got free things. Wheels are awesome. I'm getting free wheels because those are a must to have. But WiseFab and BC is really taking care of me. So I would say it's actually this year we're going into it. We upgraded coilovers, went from drift their DSs, the drift spec, to the ER, the two ways.
Yeah.
But that's the only thing we really upgraded for this season. So
as a professional driver, it's rad to get some free coilovers, but the fuel going to 1 round of FD costs more than a set of coilovers.
Yeah.
So in some respects, some things are like, you got me in the heart, and then you're excited to get something, and then fuel costs so much.
Fuel's
so
expensive.
I think that people don't realize how expensive things are sometimes for
getting
budgeting.
to the track is sometimes more expensive than the actual track experience.
Do you think that as you get closer to Pro 1 that you'll be able to transition into I mean, will your budget continue to allow for like Pro 1, or will you have to transition into a more professional, like sponsorship packages, getting the thing paid for, or will you be able to continue?
I believe we'll still be able to budget it, and we've got a really good setup. And
so you could still just pay for it out of pocket and ball out of control.
Not necessarily that. I'm still bringing on, like, sponsors of it. We're building a new car for Pro 1, so I need.
Oh, okay.
I am gonna have to get.
What's it gonna be?
I've been wanting to do a Corvette, just because I shred in the vet. I feel like the Corvette is just the platform is amazing, but we own a Ford dealership, so
they make Ford GTs and stuff.
Yeah, rear engine would be sick.
Yeah.
Think about maybe possibly doing a Mustang. So that would. I'm just trying to. We own a Ford dealership. If I can get him a Ford somehow, that would be spectacular. I know it's not like.
Yeah, they have a team. Just hit up RTR.
Yeah. Hey, Vaughn.
You can buy one of those things.
Yeah, you can. I can't. You can buy one of those. I'm sure you can.
Well, I mean, like if you could do something similar to what they have, maybe even buy like a rolling chassis, and then put a much more normal like Illuminator supercharged motor in it.
Yeah, that's what I was planning on doing, getting their suspension, RTR suspension, because they've already got it dialed and figured out, and obviously it's the car performs, and then putting a nothing super duper crazy. I want to go NA. I want to go back to the NA life.
The only problem with that is, man, NA is expensive compared to just putting a supercharger.
It is, because you go through bottles of nitrous. I was talking to Chelsea, and he said they go through a 20-pound bottle of nitrous
every few laps.
I think every two. Yeah, every battle they go through a 20-pound bottle. And I'm like, I have a 10-pound bottle in my car.
Yeah.
And I'll go through one bottle in 2 rounds, because I'm spraying 30 shot at wide open throttle to cool off the blower. That's it. That is it.
For power.
It's literally a 33 pill, and it's just at wide open throttle. It's a dry shot.
Would you be willing to go to do that, all that extra work? Because realistically, you would need almost a whole nother crew member just to handle nitrous at the line.
Yeah.
Which means that person isn't utilized for anything except, I mean, it depends how fast you're going.
Yeah, I mean, we'd figure it all out. That's all just, what I would like to do, because the least, I'm trying to factor out issues. Just like I'm trying to keep it simple. You know what I mean? But it's not.
Oh yeah, a bottle of nitrous every 2 laps.
No. I don't want to go through that freaking much nitrous. That's a lot, dude. But their bumper budget is, more than everybody's car budget, so they can afford some nitrous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would think they get bumpers for free.
Probably so, but I don't know.
I heard they don't even paint them to keep it cheaper.
They just wrap right over them?
The cars are just all black, like simple, raw.
Huh. What about Chelsea? This is yellow, right? Or is his back black?
I'm sure that's a wrap on top of it.
True.
Okay.
Anyways, we're getting past it.
So moving forward, that's an interesting concept of like you want a Corvette, but you're forced to run a Mustang.
Not forced to. I started.
No, but you know what I mean. If you're going to own a Ford dealership and stuff, you might as well push that, because that's
Corvettes are great, dude. I've never, you can't. I'm going to give credit where it's due. Corvettes are awesome chassis.
Would you do a brand new Mustang or an older Mustang?
Probably
brand new one.
Brand new one.
How do you do that? Do you buy a body in white, or do you just get like one? Like, Dad, can I have that one on the showroom floor?
No, heck
Roll
no.
it out.
His partner probably wouldn't be happy about that. But no, we're try to get one from Ford, like one of those no title.
Okay.
Title cars,
like an emissions car, like whatever
that they use for testing and stuff like that. Just a rolling chassis, even if it's not a rolling chassis.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put different suspension on it, so it honestly doesn't matter. So if I just get a body from them that I could get a cage, do everything, how an FD car should be, and then go from there. But it's gonna take time.
Do you think, as like say the Mustang chassis, is that a cost competitive chassis to build? Like, the RTR cars look extremely expensive to get to a highly competitive level, and then you also need gigantic tires.
Yeah.
You end up in a not cheap chassis to run.
Tires. Those are hard. Yeah.
Are you still buying tires?
Yes.
I was talking to someone that I don't want to throw them under the bus, but they told me 16 of the Pro 1 guys are still paying for tires.
Yep.
And how many of the Pro Spec guys are paying for tires?
All of us.
Everyone? Oh, wow.
Everybody.
So if you were to move up to Pro 1...
We're not allowed to have free tires from GT Radio.
Really?
GT, we get a super duper discount on them. We get a good deal on them, but they sponsor the series, so they come there with our tires there for us. They mount them. They take them away. We don't.
So how many total Pro Spec and Pro 1 drivers are there?
There's 37 cap, so there's 37
in each series. So out of 74 drivers or 76 drivers or something like that, only 16 guys get free tires?
Pro 1 guys, yeah.
Wow.
Used to be more, now it's...
On Drift Week, I bet there's, not to say Drift Week's great or anything, but I was going to say there's probably 8 guys just on Drift Week with free tires.
Who?
If not more.
Sons
Isn't that
guns?
weird?
I need some free tires. Throw them my way.
You can afford them.
No, I can't.
Yeah, you can.
I
So
can't.
anyways, my point was if you're going to build a Mustang and you're going for like the Ford stuff and everything, you'll get some help for Ford. The running cost on these cars is more than the building cost. Do you agree?
I honestly don't know. I can't agree with it because I haven't done it yet.
You're like, my dad doesn't let me have the checkbook.
You're right.
I'm joking.
You're right.
The tires, the fuel to get to the events, like all that stuff adds up a lot.
It's very
you have an idea
expensive.
of how much a season costs. And a season
100%.
costs more than the build cost of your car. Especially because your car isn't junk after a year.
Yeah.
Like you've had the same car for quite some time.
It's the first 240
Yeah.
I built.
Yeah, so you could definitely say the running cost of the car
Yes.
more to
Yes.
run Formula D. So I was going to say, thinking that building a Mustang would not necessarily save money if you have to buy gigantic 315 40 18s.
Yeah.
You know how big those things are.
Oh, 100%.
They're massive.
I used to run 295 40 18s in your series.
Oh my
Remember
God, those
everybody yelled at me.
Yeah.
You know, I
We
paid
changed the rules.
$75 a tire shipped.
Yeah?
That's why I ran them.
Well, it's not like that anymore.
I was getting them for stupid cheap.
So anyways, going back to my question,
Yep.
it would be more expensive to run the Mustang than say your 240 SX. Do you think the Mustang would actually be more competitive?
Yeah.
Or do you
The
think it would just be more
240's tired,
sponsorable?
man. 240's tired.
Not your 240, but a
another
240.
240.
Yeah.
I'm just trying.
Because like say all the WiseFab and everything else, WiseFab's actually pretty cheap when you consider what it is. You spend $4,000, you do both corners of the car.
Yeah.
Doing a Mustang, how much would a full suspension on a Mustang be in baller parts? Probably double that, I'm
Probably
guessing.
more expensive than that, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and then the motor, everything is going to
Yeah.
be significantly more.
It's going to
especially
be
if
more
you're running
expensive, but
nitrous.
it's going to be a better car, all the way around better car. It's going to be a better looking car, and it's a better opportunity for more sponsors because
Yeah, I agree
you
with
as a
that.
person would rather sponsor a brand new car than an old car.
So you believe that someone like James Dean would be more sponsorable in a Mustang than a
no,
240?
absolutely not.
Or an
I'm just
S15?
No, but in this
Then
day
why
and-
would you be more sponsorable in a Mustang than an S15
Well, an S15
or S14? Do you see my thought process?
I agree, but
I think a lot
there's-
of guys in your shoes think that there's going to be gold at the end of the rainbow.
manufacturer sponsors and whatnot is what I'm looking at.
Yeah, I guess you have an in with that, so maybe it would be easier.
Yeah, you're not going to get sponsored by Nissan running an LS and a 240. So, and I'm not going with an RB. I'm not going with an SR.
No,
I'm not going with-
I get it. I'm
So-
just thinking out loud, like if you're already spending money on everything, and if that continued, is it wise to move into a more expensive Mustang chassis? Because I do think if you look back, like over the past 20 years of drifting, there's a lot of people that thought if they changed chassis that the money would flow.
Yeah.
You know, and they all, like even I was talking to Robbie Nishida in one of my interviews. I don't know if you're at Japan with me
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
And Robbie was like, man, we swapped chassis. And like I would have been better off in my SC300 than he was in the G37 or whatever.
Yeah.
He's like, I was forced into that thinking that, you know, the money would come. And he's like, all it did was cost me more money. The car was slower. It was worse in every way. You know, it was.
My thing is that's been my only car, the only drift car I've ever, my first 240 ever built. I've had it forever, and the car is tired. Yeah, I've thought about doing another S chassis, but I honestly.
What's tired on it?
Put it on the lift.
Yeah.
I had to just get the whole rear subframe welded. My
Oh,
tower,
you know what?
My
You
tower
can't-
struts are cracking. Remember whenever
Yeah, I was
got
going to say
smashed at
Formula
your
D cars,
event?
you can't necessarily fix that
No.
much just by adding tube.
No, we can't.
Darn.
So once it's tweaked, it's been on the alignment rack and the frame machine more times than I count to get it all back straight. It was 1.25 inches off on the passenger side. The tower strut was pushed in and towards the motor and back towards the firewall. And we've pulled it so much to where if it gets pulled again, the tower strut's going to rip off the firewall.
So does it drive worse than it did years ago?
No, we got
Drives
it back.
better,
It drives
probably.
better because we've
Isn't
got
that
it straight.
amazing? So you're like, oh, it's tired, but then the
It
actual
is.
reality of it is the car
But if
drives
that thing
better.
got hit one more time on the passenger, I have a tower strut brace to hold my tower struts where they're at. It's not for rigidity in the chassis at all. It's literally if that tower strut gets tapped again, it's going to be crushed and it's done.
Yeah.
The frame frame rail's already
It wouldn't be that big of a deal just to grab another chassis, cage it, and move all your stuff straight over.
It wouldn't be, no.
Whereas
if
if
we were in the middle of a season, that would be something we did like that.
You could have an entire season struggling with a new Mustang build.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll figure it out.
Well, we've talked about
future,
a lot.
Yeah, it's future plans. It's something I've been wanting to do for a long time. But like I said, if we do it or not, that's still up in the air. But it's something I want to do.
Before I beat this horse to death, is there anyone that swapped to a more sponsorable chassis and it worked out that you can think of and name to me and explain how it happened?
Not off the top of my head.
Okay. Do you think about things like that? Because you tell me a reason and then I question you and then I kind of push it and then you don't have a good answer.
Well, I think I get a little anxiety because of the pressure that is put on the spot. So then I lose my train of thought.
But it's important to think about.
It's 100%. There's many factors when it comes to drifting and having, I want to more than I think I need to. I want to move into a new chassis. That's the first car I ever bought. I've had it since 2014, and I want to build a new one. And I learned.
I understand wanting a new toy. I have 15 cars. I get it.
I learned in Mustangs, and it's we're a Ford. We own Fords. We own a Ford dealership, so it's like, why not move into that? So I can support our family business and more of that ways.
I know. I do think it's very smart for that because
I can run my dad's logos and stuff on his car. On my car and stuff like that. And they I can support the dealers. I can't put lithium springs. I could on the Nissan. It just doesn't look right. I put on my tow truck and stuff.
Well, I was gonna say, Colin Bernard, one of our drivers, who you remember, he was talking to me and they were talking about getting a set of coilovers or this and that. For the cars, sponsorship stuff. And I was like, you need to realize your main sponsor is your family. I was like, you're way too young to even have a real job. You need to, why are you going to spend all this time trying to, make a sponsor happy that's going to give you a $2,000 part when your family's putting X amount into, a very large amount of money? I'm like, why don't you spend all the time trying to make, your parent feel incredibly special for doing all this, and maybe you can extend the time frame before they get bored of this by a year, a season.
100%.
So I was going to say, if I was going to tell you anything in this interview, it's that you probably have an incredibly supportive and loving family that's giving you opportunities that most people don't. And instead of spending your time worrying about Wisefab or BC, you should have been thanking your dad this entire time because he might be watching this
100%.
and making him feel incredibly special.
I do.
Oh, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Because a lot of the time, I think a lot of us forget things. Like for myself, the drivers are the most special thing about Lone Star Drift by far, and I want them to have the best experience possible. The other day when we were here at Englishtown, you guys had to wait in line for 5 minutes between laps, and I was freaking out. I'm like, this is not acceptable. We cannot wait for 5 laps. I don't want any of my drivers waiting any time. And I try to spoil you guys and
you
think
do
about.
great, man.
No, but you know what I mean.
Yeah,
I'm just always trying to think about your. I'm not saying I'm good at this.
Oh, you're very good at this.
But I'm trying to worry because yesterday at the LZ party, I was freaking out that the line was too long. But I knew, because it's a gimmick event, that it is what it is. It's a figure 8 track. It crosses itself.
Yeah, there's no way to speed it up.
We can't hot lap it. You can't speed it up. But I thought that you guys would have a good experience from all the fans screaming.
Yes, and the drift games and stuff.
Yeah.
That made it.
And not having to win anything meant you only got to enjoy that.
Exactly.
Do you agree?
100%.
You didn't feel stressed out like a normal FD event.
And that's it's practice.
Yeah.
It's.
How'd you like that event?
Which one?
The LZ party thing.
Oh, it was fun.
Okay.
I had a blast.
Thank you, Adam.
Thank you, Adam. Thank you, Aaron.
Adam. Well,
thank you,
Adam.
fans. I thanked Adam personally.
Yeah, thank you to all the fans that went out and went to that. That was amazing. I can't believe how many people showed up.
We had 6,000 people.
I don't know. I think it was more than that. It was insane.
The whole road course was a parking lot.
Out here?
Out here, the road course, the track.
Oh,
we were
I didn't
driving,
see
we
that.
left to get fuel, and the whole road course was packed with cars in the
I
parking
can't
lot.
believe nobody did anything dumb on it if they
And I
let
can't
cars
believe
in.
none of our stuff got messed with, to be honest with you, with all those
that
people
was
there.
Crazy.
That was scary.
No, it was a really good crowd.
It was a very good crowd. Thank y'all so much for coming. It was apparently it was one of the biggest drift events here ever.
They said the biggest one short of FD.
Short of FD.
And it was close to that because FD rained. I think they had, when it rained somewhere.
It rained that night, yep.
One other thing about that, how was the pacing of it? Because from 2 to 6, we just did ride-alongs, and it was slow.
Yep.
And I think the crowd wandered around and slowly found their seats. And then from 6 to 7:45,
it was.
We were packing it.
Uh-huh.
And I tried to make
I got more laps at the end of the day than I did during the day.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, because everybody was out there?
Everybody was sending like four or five cars because everybody got comfortable, and then we were just getting to flow.
I was gonna say, I tried to make it like even the Lone Star Drift like comps versus Formula D and everything else, there's always downtime, you're waiting for the judges, you're waiting for someone to get a tire change, you're doing everything. We sent more laps of competition tandem than a top 16 in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
It makes it actually crazy how fast you can run drifting.
By.
Well, no, I'm just saying it's crazy
100%.
how fast you can run tandem if you're not waiting for tire changes or judges. I mean, like, we would have 2 battles finish. It was about 35 seconds per lap plus time to turn around and go. In under 2 minutes, we had a complete battle done. Start to, flipping everything. That was crazy.
It was wild.
It makes it like, why can't we get competitive drifting to that level?
I don't know. I guess
because you could do a whole top 32 in under an hour and a half, and really pack it in.
It would be.
That would be too action packed.
Yeah, it would be probably
you couldn't
way
even
too.
announce it.
You'd be way too stressed, dude. They'd be.
Yeah.
It'd be great though.
Okay.
But I think that for the fans' sake, they like being there and hanging out more. You'd rather go to the track for, hang out there, plan a whole day around it than have to plan just a few hours or something, in my opinion.
Well, I was going to say, I think for competitive drifting, most of the time, it's a lot to ask the fans to sit through 12 hours a day.
And then we got the autograph signings that you got to pause and stuff and do that stuff between whatnot.
Well, I was going to say, if they go watch qualifying because they don't know what else to do, it wears them out before they even get to the main event. I've been to a lot of competition drift events where everybody's leaving by top 8.
Yeah.
They're just like, oh, I saw enough.
I saw it all. I'll watch the live stream on the way out.
And I would say at most drift events, the people don't ever sit around en masse for the podium ceremony.
Yeah, I don't know why. That's the best part.
It's because it goes too long.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the best part if you win.
It's the best part, yeah. Yeah, if you win.
If you got 10th, you don't sit around for it.
No, but you still you cheer on your other people that I'm a supportive person in drifting regardless. So if win or lose, I still had a blast the whole season.
Have you done a Formula D event this year? Pro Spec hasn't started or has it? Okay. No. When is your first event?
Orlando, May 20th. So.
All right. Well, super good luck.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations on everything you've been doing.
I appreciate it.
It's really fun to watch.
From a great driver himself. I love it. I love hearing it.
We get to watch you advance on, question you as you go, see what you're doing, see that you're planning on building a Mustang. See, you had the big boy car out there, so it was really fun for everyone to cheer for you and see how everything's going. The Texas guys are like your family and stuff, so it's fun.
I love it. I'm glad that I got to be a part of the Lone Star Drift community. And thank you, YouTube, for watching all our stupid talk. I'm sure we rambled on a lot, but I hope hope you.
And eventually we're going to get back to Japan. Your stupid car is going to be a rust bucket.
It already is a rust bucket. I was bringing a lot of self-tappers.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right. Thank y'all.